I'm going to be really kind to myself today. I'm not going to make myself do certain jobs and have a certain task list, but what I would like to share with you are 5 key things that I think might be useful to you if you are wanting to know more about either starting a YouTube channel or how it runs, how the whole thing goes together. So we'll have a little look around, and yeah, I'll probably I'm going to put these in a little basket, and I'll take you down to the greenhouse and we'll start with number 1. Okay, so the first thing you might want to consider before you even think about pressing record is, what are your expectations? What exactly is it that you want your YouTube channel to do? Let's not talk about bad lighting. That's completely for another video. But the sun's just come out and I've probably got a big black beam in front of my face here, but never mind, I'm sure it'll be behind a cloud again soon. Yes, have a little think about it. Do you want your videos to be diary based? So this is how I started, which was just basically showing people around the plot, showing and sharing what you were up to each week in your garden, and continuing that so week on week they can see the progress or the failures of what is actually going on. That is a really lovely way to share videos, and I find that really builds up a community that comes back time after time to see just how you're getting on. Then you've got your more information-based video. So you might have how to. So how to sow your tomato seeds, how to save your broad beans, how to store your cabbages, anything like that, which is going to be short, sharp, sweet. People pop on for the information and then pop off again. It might be that you decide that you want it to be more than a hobby and you want to actually try and make some money from it. It's possible. It is possible. I know people who can do that. It is extremely hard. So manage your expectations. Think about how much time you have got to actually put into making a video. It is not just pressing the button, recording, uploading, and you're off. It might be for a few people, and certainly when I started over 10 years ago, that was the way that most people did it. But the production value of most videos now is pretty high. You need to think about actually filming your video. Are you going to be filming outside? Are you going to be filming inside? What are you going to be filming? And you need to think about the editing value, the time that goes into actually editing the video afterwards. And that will include uploading your video to some sort of software, playing around with it until you get it just how you like, and then you will upload it again to YouTube with an appropriate title, an appropriate thumbnail, etc. So what might seem like a 20-minute video that you watch will probably have taken that creator, I would say, the best part of 2 days. So some people it's more, some people do a couple of hours every day. Think about the time commitment. Think about how much time you have got to spend. Okay, now I've scared you out of actually even starting a channel. I am going to try and talk and prune these poor little chili plants because I'm going to keep them over winter, or try to keep them over winter. I did a live show last night and quite a few people were mentioning about cutting them back. Oh, how far do I cut it back? You see, I've got leaf nodes, but the leaves have fallen off. By half to a third, and try and keep them going over winter in the greenhouse. But while I'm doing this, I'm going to try and address the second most asked question, or what I'm asked most about starting your own channel, and that is, what equipment should I use? What do I need? Now, for me, the camera that you are being recorded on now is my trusty old Sony DSLR. And I use that for pretty much everything, but I will also use my phone, which is over there, for something called B-roll. We'll come to that as well. Some people film completely on their phones, and to be honest, the standard of phones nowadays is so good. There's not really any need for you to go out and buy the latest, you know, top-notch camera. If you're just starting out, something that will take a decent image quality video is good. I always shoot using 4K and I upload in 4K, but I understand that not every camera, not every phone has that. Most do nowadays, but I would say, and I would advise, that you would not go any lower than 1080, because at that point your image quality is going to suffer a little bit. So have something half decent. I mean, all I'm doing here really is giving this a haircut. I will be keeping these little chilies. Scream at the camera if you want to. Oh, that's probably a wrong bit, never mind. So a decent camera, okay? But more important, and I can't stress this enough, and you will have heard it so many times from different people, is a decent microphone. Now, again, when I started off, I didn't use a microphone at first, but it was, you know, the Stone Age when I started. But then I had a mic that you could attach to the camera. It was a directional mic, so you couldn't go too far away from the camera. But now what you can get nowadays are these fantastic remote wireless microphones. This one is magnetic, so I can just stick it onto anything, and you put the other part of it onto the camera. So I can walk a couple of 100 yards away and you can still pick me up clearly, hopefully, on the microphone. So yeah, this one is a Hollyland. It's a Hollyland that was recommended by various people. Yeah, I'll put a link to it below. Don't worry, I'm coming back to that as well. So if you're looking to get a half decent mic, these are good. I know the Rode mics are good as well, but yeah, this is what I use. And the other thing that you will need is, I've got you sitting on a tripod here, because you don't want the last thing you want. If you haven't got a tripod, then something with a gimbal. So if you're using a selfie stick, use one with a gimbal, because the last thing you want to be doing is wobbling around, because whereas you might be talking and filming at the same time, and to you it all looks in sync, once that actually goes out onto a screen, the viewer might tune you out and all they can see is this wobbly image, and it can be really off-putting, and it can make the difference between someone carrying on watching your video and someone just saying, nope, can't bear it, and turning it off. I've got a tripod. You can also use, I've got one here, one of these. That's the phone attachment thing for the top. One of these like little tripod things that you can attach to all sorts of things, and they're great. Okay, so if I wanted to attach it up here, I could. I know if you use something like a GoPro, they come with all their own attachments as well. Oy, this chili knows I'm going to attack it with some scissors in a minute. So yeah, camera, microphone, tripod. Once you have got your video filmed, you will need some sort of editing software to place it into, okay, and that's where all your editing is going to go on. Some people can do it on the phone. If you've got editing software on your phone, fine. I've never got on with that, but I've never had, you know, when I started, I didn't have a decent enough phone to be doing that with, but my eyes aren't good. So the fact that you're doing it on a much smaller screen, as opposed to, I've taken too much off now. I've got to take the fruits off. Take that off. Yes, you're editing. It sounds quite scary, but most computers now, I'm just going to take that back there because that's not nice at all. Most computers now will have their own editing software available free. But if you use anything different, feel free to put it in the comments below, and that'll help people choose what's best for them. Again, it will depend on what system you use, whether you're on Mac, whether you're Windows. I use iMovie, which is the standard Mac package. It's completely free. And you can get your video edited on that. If you also want extra software, so again, these are little extras, they're not necessary, excuse me, you might want to use a package like, for example, Canva, which is what I use. It's a graphics package that you can produce your thumbnails on. And that, just adds a little bit of extra. But saying that, there are so many thumbnail builders out there now that you don't need it specifically for that. But if you want to add a few little fancy things, it's good. It'll help you choose your font, choose which colours you like. You can completely personalise your thumbnail. And the last thing I'm going to say in equipment, and again, it's not equipment really, it's software. If you want to add a little bit of music, which a lot of us do, sorry, then there are packages out there. You can use free music from YouTube. You can get royalty-free music. I used to use one, I can't remember the name, but if I do remember, I'll pop it on the screen. There is a tiny bit of water left in there. So I'm just going to leave them as they are. Once that water dries out, I'm not going to replace it. These can then go dormant over the winter and they will lose their leaves. If it stays warm enough in here, I've got my thermometer behind me. I think it's like something like 7 degrees. They don't want to go beneath that. They will hopefully reshoot next year. But look, I mean, you've just got to have a go, haven't you? Sometimes we get so wound up with, you know, whether we're doing it right or not, especially if you're doing it on camera, but I'm trying. Right, okay, so equipment, covered. Number 3. And that is how it works. Now, this is just from my own experience. I'm not going to be talking about the algorithm here. I'm not going to be going into any particular depth. Aren't they beautiful? But I'll give you the basics that I know, okay, and what I've learned over the years. It is something you've just got to get over pretty quickly or it'll be the end of you. You might spend so much time creating what to you is the absolute perfect video. You've got brilliant footage, it's been brilliant weather, so everything looks luminous. You've got a great topic, you've got a great title, you know that you presented it really well, you've got some B-roll in there. It's just fantastic. And you are then so proud of yourself. And you press publish on YouTube and out it goes into the ether. And in your head, you might have this image of your video. Let's say it's wrapped like a scroll and it is floating through the air, through a beautiful corridors of a big old school. Let's think of Hogwarts. I'm getting there. And it's more or less like you're getting a little fanfare on the way because it's so good and it's whisking this way and that, and it goes into the head teacher's office and it lands on the desk in front of that head teacher as if to say, here I am, A+, please. This has taken so much time, but I am the proudest I have ever been of my work. And then it doesn't go anywhere. And you get no views at all. You wonder, what on earth has gone on? But what you have got to think about is the amount of other people who are making videos and pressing publish at the same time. You have got all those competitors. And rather than, yes, the slow, beautiful, tranquil floating to the head teacher's desk, it's more like a mosh pit where you have got thousands and thousands and thousands of competitors' videos all jumping up and down at the same time, trying to get to the front, trying to say, look at me, I've got the best video, I've got the best video. Think about how a video is presented to someone. The first thing they will see is your thumbnail, okay? You need to concentrate on what is on your thumbnail. Bear in mind that if it's on a phone, it's only going to be like a little tiny postage stamp, okay? But you need to be concentrating on what, you know, the the most pertinent part of your video. Get that on your thumbnail. Something that is going to, and this is a term that is used over and over and over again, something that is going to spark curiosity, something that's going to make people stop at the thumbnail and think, oh, okay, stop scrolling, let's look at the title. Then they'll look at the title and they might think, oh, okay, this looks quite interesting title. Oh, I'm going to click on that. Okay, and you think then you've got them. You haven't. They have got to watch your video for 30 seconds for it to count as a view. So if you've got a brilliant thumbnail, a brilliant title, and they click on the video and it's got absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with what you had promised, they're going to click off. So you have got to try and grab their attention and grab their interest. Now, this is where a lot of people can fall down, I would say, and fall into the trap of using clickbait. By clickbait, I mean using some sort of image that's going to make the viewer go, oh my God, what's going on there? And it can be the image or it can be the title, you know. That's fine. If it is relating to what is in the video, it's absolutely fine. If it has nothing to do with what's in the video or a completely irrelevant part of the video that you might stick as a bit of B-roll on at the end, no. And that is really not seen as good practice. So the other thing about if you do use clickbait, even if you get a viewer for that particular one, are they going to stick around and watch another one of your videos in which you might not use it? It's all about building up a relationship with the viewers. So do beware of that. Clickbait is a word that you will hear being bandied around. What you will get from YouTube after your video has been published, might take a couple of days for the processing to go through, but you will get a graph that will show, usually, say your video starts on 90% viewers, and then there's usually a sharp drop within that first 30 seconds. And that is purely people who, you know, they're not being horrible. They've just thought, no, it's not quite what I wanted, and they'll scroll away. But then what you should have is some sort of line going all the way to the end. There's usually a drop off at the end when you're saying goodbye. Keep that short, keep the goodbye bit short, because as soon as people know you're going, they'll scroll away. But you will also have peaks and troughs in that line. So you'll have like a zigzag line, and the peaks are the popular bits of the video that people are maybe scrolling back to look over again, and the troughs are the bit that people are skipping. And I find very often if I put a bit of a musical interlude in, I really like it, but a lot of people just think, it's just a music bit, and skip over. So yes, but bear in mind that leads us quite nicely on to the next topic, which is a controversial one. Maybe not as much of a shock as my last topic is going to be, but my next topic is going to be etiquette. Oh, Junior, you're there again. What are you doing this time, eh? I can't believe these apples are still okay. I mean, look at these. Okay, there's a few little holes in there. The apples this year have been incredible. Okay. Etiquette. Again, what I said before, if you have spent a long time doing a video and you have popped it out there, and that's beautiful. Oh, I wish the sun was out now, look. And I don't know, a few days later you see somebody else, maybe a bigger YouTuber, maybe not, doing the same video with pretty much the same title, pretty much the same thumbnail. That is bad etiquette. I mean, that is an obvious one, but obviously we all do the same thing in gardening. You know, I mean, it's all right in spring and summer because we can all be doing 101 different things. But say this time of year, you know, you'll see so many videos about people planting out their garlic or people saving their seeds, and that's great. So it can't be helped. That can't be helped. There's always going to be a crossover, but just be a little bit more thoughtful. It can be really easy to be influenced in a way by what you've seen, especially if you really enjoyed it. But yeah, if you are going to use something that you've maybe heard from somewhere else, or seen on another channel and you are doing the exact same thing and you have been influenced by them, give them a shout out. Don't just make out that it's your idea, because it can be really annoying, and it can just be really upsetting, because you sort of think, well, now if people watch your videos, they're going to think you've copied them. So there's that. I mean, that's so straightforward, and I wouldn't think anyone would do that anyway. But the other thing is, and this is really good practice to get into, just keep my eye on Junior. Oh no, that's got a big hole. I'll take it. You'll find that once you start getting your first comments back, it's wonderful. That feedback is just wonderful. And if you are asking people for something, so if you are asking for them to comment, yes, you just be polite. It's just polite to say thank you, thumbs up. I think we do a heart now, and it's just, and it's that sort of thing again that encourages traction, and YouTube will see that. If you are answering each comment, that means that you've got twice as many comments going through, so you can that it's all good. It's a good thing. So try and get into that habit. It's just basic manners, isn't it, really? The last thing is, look at that. I wasn't expecting to pick those today. Gorgeous. Last thing on the etiquette front is, it can be really tempting as a smaller channel when you've just started and you're trying to get people to come over and see what you've done, to plug your channel on somebody else's. And whereas, for example, the live that I did last night, I did say at the end of the live, if anyone's got any channels, if they've got your own channel, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, I invite you to put them in the comments. It's not really on to just put, oh, hi, I'm new here, this is my channel. Okay, if you've been invited to do it, that's absolutely fine. And most of the creators I know are so generous in that way, and they will always, always try and support new channels. But if you want to wind them up or brush them up the wrong way, yeah, just putting a link there, especially when you've maybe had no other interaction with that channel. So yeah, as I say, oh, Junior, come on. I think we're going to have to take her in. Yeah, just think on. Come on, little lady. Who's this? Who's this, Rocky? And put your friends in as well. Hey. Number 5, finance. Can you actually make a living from doing YouTube videos? As I've mentioned, there are so many videos out there that the first thing you are going to have to consider is how long it is going to take you to get monetized. Now, I can't remember now. I think when I first started, it was something like you had to have 1,000 subs and X amount of views before you could get monetized. And when I say monetized, it means that YouTube will start putting adverts on your videos. You can either decide exactly where they're going to go, or they can just put them in automatically for you. So from that, you will get an extremely, extremely small percentage of the ad revenue. And it will all depend on how many times your video has been watched, how many times that advert has been watched right through. If you're someone who skips the ads, which, let's be honest, we've all done it every now and then, they're not going to count for much. But once you are monetized, you will start to earn some cash, which is great, because you can think, okay, I'm getting something back from this. And if you want to, this is what I do, I will feed it back into the channel. So at some point or another, I might be able to afford another memory card for the camera, or a packet of seeds, anything like that that will help boost your channel. Now, that can all sound really, really exciting, but there is a huge difference in what one creator might earn to another creator. You know, the whole, the Mr. Bigs of the YouTube world, yes, they can earn comfortably, a really, really comfortable living, but they are few and far between. So if I tell you that for each of my videos, and bear in mind now, I can't remember exactly how many I've made, but 300 and odd. I will put the exact figures on the screen. I earn anything between £5 and £15 per video. Now that is within, say, the first 3-4 weeks. Okay, so if your video is watched over and over again, obviously the income will come up. But you can see from that, I mentioned earlier on that for me at least, and it's different for everybody, it's at least 2 solid days of filming, and not solid days, I would say 10 hours of filming and editing. Okay, and that's besides the thinking about the topic, etc., etc. So yes, it is not something that I can retire on. And indeed, what happens is at the end of each month, if you have reached the £60 threshold, YouTube has something called AdSense that will pay that money into your account. There have been months where I have not reached the £60 threshold, and you know, it might be that I've missed a video, it might just be that my videos haven't done very well, but the idea that, you know, if you've got a certain amount of subs or you've been going for a certain amount of time, you are going to be rolling in it is, it's just something to consider, because it is hard work. But if you can find another way to support your channel financially, you can do it through ways like Ko-fi, Buy Me a Coffee, there's PayPal Me, there's Join My Channel, I use Patreon. And to be honest, if I did not have those patrons, they are absolute stars in my eyes, my channel would have gone under a long time ago, because from my patrons, I get something like £27 to £30 a month. So you can see that is a lot more than I actually do from the videos themselves. You know, it's not a fortune, but it certainly keeps me going and keeps the videos going. Other ways that you can monetize your channel, you can use affiliate links. You'll find more and more people are doing that nowadays. Some people are just so brilliant at it. They'll have 4 or 5 affiliate links, and before you know it, you've bought all of them. And what that means is it's usually a link that will take you to an Amazon store or whichever store it's connected to. And again, you will earn a very tiny amount of whatever that cost is for that item that's sold. So yes, I will have Amazon links. I will put links below this one. Some people have been rather disdainful about that, and that again is absolutely their choice. I'm absolutely fine with that. It's completely up to you whether you do it or not. But as you can see, and hopefully from what I've shown you today, there is a lot to consider. Very often we do get given products to review. And again, some people agree, some people don't agree. But for me, if it's a product that I am going to use in my allotment and I think it is of value to the viewer, I have got no problem reviewing it, as long as the manufacturer knows that if I'm not happy with it, I will say so as well. So it will always be an honest review. Because you do get offered, I've mentioned this before, Rocky doesn't need a bandana, you know, however nice it might look. I don't need, you know, X amount of socks for hiking in to come to the allotment. So I'm not going to be, if I review it, it's because, yes, it will benefit me if you click the link, that would be fantastic, but hopefully it will benefit you in the long term anyway. So yeah, controversial, maybe a bit of a surprise. As I've taught all this, I hope you will be able to see just how valuable your input is. And I don't mean financial, I mean just what it is that keeps us going. I did ask on my Facebook group if you had any questions for this video, and one of them was, What keeps you coming back time and time again? Well, as you can tell by my finances, it's not financial, it is the community. It sounds like absolutely an old cheese fest when I say that, but I think you'll find that most creators will agree. It's being part of something. It's not us in isolation, but it's all of us together. And that really, really does keep us going. Another question I've just got to cover before I leave, I promise I will leave, is someone said, does it make you a better gardener? Do you think you are a better gardener because you film what you are doing? I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I think in some ways I'd probably be a better gardener if I didn't film, because I'd be able to get on with things. But yeah, I do get your point. You don't want to be passing on misinformation. But at the same time, my way of filming it, again, it's personal to me, is that you see the mistakes. The chilies, for example, you'll see those, so you can you realise that, just because we're on this side of the camera, it doesn't mean we know everything that's going on. So I thought that was really interesting. So that's it. Hopefully, now don't switch off, because I've just said this is the bit where the graph dips. Please, I would really like to know what your comments are below. Have you learned something from this? Has this put you off starting a channel? Has it inspired you to start a channel? Is there anything that I've discussed that you are surprised, a bit shocked about? I would love to hear that, because again, this is a two-way conversation. So please let me know in the comments below, and check out some of the affiliate links as well. Okay, thanks very much. I hope it's been useful, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.